Creature from the Pit is a title that had me a little nervous, conjuring images of something evil that might just hit on that one little nerve I have about certain subject matters. And when the serial started out with what looked like yet another damn cult, doing yet another damn sacrifice, I was about to start fuming. But appearances can be deceiving. It's thankfully not what it appears to be at face value, going in a different direction to what I was afraid of. Yes, I'm sure no matter what direction it goes in, this will be a fairly inconsequential story with nothing major of note to react to. Alright, we are back with another 1979 four-parter, Season 17, keeping things moving. And you know me, I much prefer the 4-episode structure. No mention of the TARDIS randomizer this time, but we do finally get to see the return of K9 after he's been relegated to the sidelines for the last 2 serials. And let me get this out of the way first. My first impressions of David Brierley, I think his name is, doing the voice of K9 is... I do not like it. John Leeson took a season off for reasons, replaced by old Dave here. But man, does it not fit the character. Leeson's performance was so quick and sharp. Master, I am K9, the Doctor's faithful friend. But now he sounds more like, oh no, mistress, I would never poop on the living room rug. It must have been the cat. The vocal inflections are all off. This isn't really a role to bring your own artistic interpretation to. K9 has a voice, and a pretty iconic one at that. The least you could do is at least try to imitate it. Well, I'll deal with it in the meantime, because I know that John Leeson returns next season, and by then I'll probably get used to it. And hey, he's not the only one whose acting leaves a little much to be desired.
K9! 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 You must be Romana.
K9! Oh, K9, help! So the Doctor and Romana find themselves in a fairly familiar situation, caught between a group of uppity, high-class, wealthy folk hoarding the planet's precious resources, and a small group of savage tribesmen kind of thing who scrounge around trying to find said precious resource. The resource in question being metal. Any metal. Tin, copper, bronze, silver. Bad news for K9. But the main conflict isn't really between these two groups. No, the disheveled savage blokes don't really impact the plot that much at all. Instead, the big bad lady wants the Doctor or Romana to help discover the secrets of this egg sculpture, or understand the secrets of the TARDIS? I don't know, it's pretty vague. What's important is Bad Lady Bad, and she has a pit, and she has a creature in the pit. She also has an army of deadly tumbleweeds. What the heck is going on? There's a fair few strong characters that I feel are worth mentioning. The villain's main lady-in-waiting is pretty cool. You kind of get the feeling she's got a bit of a backstabbing Starscream vibe about her, but you're not too sure until closer to the end. And as some of you mentioned in my comment section a while ago, Doctor Who was one of the few shows back in the day where older women actors could actually get a chance at scoring a decent role, so I feel it's worth pointing out. The would-be leader of the primitive savage tribe, whatever, the poor folk. Oh man, I adored him. I loved his performance. Like something straight out of the modern Mad Max films. Like the way he refers to his crew, like, oh, look at this, my beauties, all the treasures. Even if I couldn't quite nail down where his accent was coming from. And it made me think just now, there might be not just classism, but also like some underlying sexism, given that the main villain is a woman, and like her main crew, they're called the women in waiting. Meanwhile, all the poor folk, they're all like burly men that look like they just stumbled out of a pub, basically. But maybe that's more subtext, like it's just something I'm thinking of now. Actually, going back to what I was saying about the main tribesman, how I couldn't figure out his accent. Speaking of bad acting, I think he might even have Romana and K9 beat. Despite my love and admiration for his energetic performance, I think he gives the hands-down worst character getting knocked unconscious scene ever. Like, what is that? Bro couldn't give two shits about making it look convincing. Or did he think they were going to do another take or cut to a different shot? It's kind of ironic how this should happen only 2 weeks after I brought up the whole actors not committing to falling over thing in my Destiny of the Daleks review. And the final character I wanted to mention was this wise old sage geezer, who might actually have a bit of foresight and be able to read and interpret the stars, or might just be a bit kooky. Either way, in a truly bizarre thing to behold, the actor who plays him, his voice sounds exactly like William Hartnell. The same vocal inflections and tones, it's identical to the First Doctor. It's actually insane. Like, I couldn't stop hearing it. And it makes me think maybe they should have gotten him to play the First Doctor in the Five Doctors if he was still alive.
I've never seen anything like it.
I have. Anyway, the Doctor's behind there and we've got to get him out.
And it's through meeting this character that the Doctor finally comes face to face with the titular creature from the pit. So what's it gonna be? A hideous monster? A sinister spirit? A cryptid from folklore? That's a dick. Why is Shrek's scrotum a villain in Doctor Who?
It's as hard as rock.
Ha! You said it, buddy. Wow, that's, well, you saw it. No need to dwell on it. Moving on, the Doctor tries to communicate with the creature by... Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Regular viewer Andrew Bowman tried to warn me back in my Image of Fendel review that something even more outrageous was yet to come in Doctor Who. But nothing could have prepared me for that. It's so shocking, it makes the rolling balls of weeds seem tame by comparison. I tried to be mature, but seriously, what were they thinking? I'm sorry, I am so sorry. I'm sure that fans of this serial are sick to death of seeing people's over-the-top reactions to this moment and just want them to focus on the merits of the story. But as a first-time viewer, I'm sorry, I just can't. That is just too... I need a minute. Yeah, so... yeah, that happened. I don't want to let such a ridiculous moment overshadow the whole review, but if I'm being honest, the rest of it is just another solid Doctor Who story, you know? Nothing offensive, just solid. Just like last week, nothing amazing, nothing terrible, it's serviceable. But all I'm going to be able to remember when I think back to this serial is that. It's kind of clouded over everything for me. But I'm going to try my best to refocus and move on. After finding the means to communicate with the creature from the pit, it seems like all is well, right? Well, it must be said that I reckon the first 8 minutes of that final episode are excellent. Some of the best television I've seen in a while. All character conflicts coming to a head, all secrets laid bare. And I mean, just look at this awesome camera shot. One continuous take that doesn't cut away. It's brilliant. But wait a second, we've still got 2/3 of an episode left. So yeah, they kind of shoehorn in another last-minute dire situation they need to overcome. There's more danger. Gee, I guess I better give the most important MacGuffin item that's the only thing stopping said danger from occurring to this random side character. A frail old man side character, mind you. Gee, I wonder where this is gonna go. Guess you'll have to watch to find out. They stopped the last minute doomsday from occurring, but I have to wonder, was the doomsday always 24 hours from occurring? Like, the creature has been in the pit for 15 years, and it communicates with the Doctor that, oh yeah, by the way, the planet's gonna explode tomorrow. So if the TARDIS happened to land one day later, would they just have been like, oh, Romana, isn't this planet beautiful? What's that neutron star-sized object hurtling towards us? Oh, To be real with you, I didn't really understand the ending, but I accept it as sci-fi nonsense and leave it at that. Also, they have 2 practical TARDIS console explosions for what turns out to be a fairly innocuous scene. Like, that must have taken some serious effort in the special effects department, right? And for what? Doesn't even do enough damage for me to do my usual, oh my goodness, the TARDIS is dead bit. Well, maybe it'll come back and be relevant again next serial. Although knowing the show's track record, probably not. Now that I'm wrapping this up, allow me to get petty for a second. It's fairly nitpicky, but a plot hole appears when the old lady runs out of the pit and into the main room to get help from a guard that's asleep in that room. But the last time we saw that room, the bandit thugs, the poor folks, they murdered all of the guards stationed there and ransacked the place. So did this new guard walk in, see all his dead comrades and decide, oh, I guess I'll clear away the bodies and settle in for a quick nap? Or is it a completely different room, in which case, why was the door to the pit wide open? Doesn't ruin the story or anything, but hey, I noticed it, therefore I must point it out. The same as I want to bring attention to more positive continuity. In episode 2 or 3, Romana mentions that the Doctor claims to be in his 750s, which correctly relates directly to what he said back at the Rebos operation. Good job, writers. A throwaway line that doesn't break canon. Can't say the same about the other throwaway line about the Doctor having 130 lives, but let's not touch that one, shall we? So there you have it. My review of The Creature from the Pit. What a roller coaster of expectations and executions. Immediately afterwards, I had to watch the Behind the Sofa segment on the Blu-ray, because I just needed to know if they reacted to that infamous part, and yep, they sure did. Although my personal favourite bit was actually Colin Baker's reaction to the rolling weed bowls.
Oh, the vegetarian meatballs are coming.
I didn't have time to watch the whole Behind the Sofa segment, but I watched enough to learn a cool little tidbit. Turns out they had a secondary canine unit that they made that was light enough to carry, and that is the same prop that they used when K9 returned in the modern series alongside Sarah Jane Smith. Awesome! I assumed they would have built just a whole new prop for School Reunion. But how neat is it that they brought back this old prop, even if it is just for the sake of necessity. And that's it, that's the end. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to go wash my eyes out with soap. Enjoy this video I found online.
After his previous experience, the Doctor approached the thing with the utmost caution and thoughtfully sucked it off.